And they put the government behind Delaware so that it could deal with the northern states. When Delaware started dealing with the northern states, they needed a place that they considered the capital and also brought it back to an office space that they considered Washington, D.C. This was a big fucking area of politics that controlled the northern states. Because the Louisiana Purchase, when they did that shit, remember, you know what I'm saying, these southern motherfuckers were still on their south shit. And they wasn't trying to have this shit. We had revolutionary wars because of this shit amongst the country. You dig what I'm saying? District of Columbia is the District of Columbia, Maryland, which was that state that separated the northern states from the southern states. With Delaware as the first state, they put that state behind them to start dealing with the northern states. You understand what I'm saying?
So it's Virginia.
That's why this is the District of Columbia.
Hey!
Go ahead, bro. I want a piece of you. Fuck out of here. I want a piece of you.
So what's up, nigga? So what's up?
You know where I'm from, nigga?
So what's up? Fuck out of here, nigga.
The college funding issues myself, so for that I have a 9-year program where I'm going to be able to finish my doctorate. I have 2 semesters left on my undergraduate, so at least until May, and then I have to go return to my seasonal job and generate funds to finish my degree, and then I might just be right back out here.
That's cool. A guy told me that they was giving you off till February something, the 21st or something, to be out here, and after that it was a $500 fine. You heard anything about that?
I have not personally. What I have heard is that the park police were generally considering this as a 24-hour vigil, so that's why they've been somewhat lenient in their no camping policy. It also defines as, yes, we have tents, but camping's more of a leisurely activity. We're more of an extended sit-in. So there is that. Me personally, I haven't heard of anything about this February plan.
Okay, and what is this all about?
It's all about, the general idea behind it is to sort of take corporate money out of politics and to basically to restore maybe classical liberal economics, as opposed to this government welfare sponsored entitlement system where, you know, it's people, it's where those who have money initially win, those who don't lose to a certain degree, and people fight over the crumbs of which they're thrown as opposed to actually enjoy the surplus of their own labor.
Okay. This tent here, right? Yep, you see, if you read White House 24, a day anti-nuclear peace vigil since 1981, maintained by Conception and W. Thomas. I'm sorry, it's hard for me to read this and look at the same time. This is all a piece of history. This tent you see right here has been occupied since 1981. And I don't know if you heard, I was talking to a guard in front of the White House that stated, as long as someone here and they get a permit for this, they can stay as long as possible. You see the pictures and, you know, I'm trying to get the best, you know, footage I possibly can because it's freezing cold, man. But this tent right here has been here in front of the White House here since 1981. I wish the person who occupied this tent was here, because I know they have a story. Oh, they are here. Peace, man. What's going on? What's your name, brother? Charles, you've been here since 1981?
No. Concepcion and William Thomas have been here since 1981. I'll come out for a second.
Okay. And he has his little guard dog staying down with him. How's it going? Sorry to bother you. You a tall guy to be in such a small tent too, man.
There's a lot of room in there.
Is it?
It's just that little door.
Okay.
But the little lady, she almost goes through. I just made it a little taller for her
Okay.
tonight. I'm just kind of making a nest for her for the winter.
Okay.
She likes to spend the night.
Okay. But someone has been, this place has been occupied since 1981?
William Thomas and her. William Thomas got here in 1981. Concepcion followed a couple months later from New York.
Okay.
And they sat out here. You can see the pictures. This is on the other side of the street. There's that big oak tree. Or it's actually a ash, I think. And then they used to have big old signs, you know, huge. And then they've reduced it to this size. Many court battles and everything else over the years.
Okay.
William Thomas and Concepcion fought along with others, but those two primarily. And Concepcion for the last 3 years has maintained this diligently in honor of William Thomas.
And how long have you been out here?
Just a month or so.
Ah, good to be here for the cause, though, man. It's really good.
I get here in the morning, and then she takes a break, and then I come at night. She takes a
So the lady that's here has been here since when?
since I think all of our hearts were open, but 1981.
Wow, man. Wow.
About
That's-
this tall. In fact, I'm trying to get this.
Wow, that is phenomenal, man. It's really a piece of history right here, man. And she sleeps in there. This is her
Yeah, you can take
home now. Wow, man. It's incredible.
Go in there. No, go in. No, baby, you can't. Oh, he might have to go to the bathroom. Anyway, this is. I put one sign here, kind of my interpretation of access to food, water, and shelter for the 7 billion people on the planet will drive our 21st century economy. And using technologies, and these are the occupiers. Here around the rotunda, that's down the street. See the little occupiers on this. These are all people. Those are people. You see the cliffs and the crevices in the earth, the faces there. You see the oil on across the waters.
Yes, sir.
There's Lincoln back there. He's waiting, watching, listening, watching what's coming down.
Wow. That is truly phenomenal, man.
Here we are.
Glad to meet you.
He's got a stick. He gets it, yeah.
Thanks a lot, man. I am Dre, Mr. Charles,
Dre.
and it is a pleasure to meet you, and I
Nice to meet
respect
you.
the movement that you're dealing with. It is freezing cold. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's by all means, yes. Now, you ask 10 different people, you'll get 10 different answers, but primarily we're focused on sort of reversing horror decisions such as Citizens United, sort of reenacting legislation that should have never been repealed, such as Glass-Steagall, and sort of working on the grassroots campaign where we're going to change the political discourse from the ground up.
And I run into my brother in front of the Washington Memorial?
Washington Monument.
Washington
That's
Monument.
where they had the Million Man March, and I had a dream speech.
And there go your big Bank of America, the PNC Bank, which I like to call Partners in Crime Bank. Some more. Forgot what that building was. We came from that way. This is adjacent to the White House and the protesters. Down a little further, let me try to give it a little bit of light. And you have the Treasury Department of National Treasury. And that's what it looked like. This is where your, I guess, money is kept and stored, and happens to be right next door to the president's office. Take a tour somewhere, you'll ride on that bike, I guess.
Elvis got in his head that he wanted to come meet President Nixon, and he wanted to get a drug enforcement officer's badge, so he decided he was going to turn in all his drug dealing buddies in Hollywood. In D.C., brought his entourage, rented out a whole floor in the hotel, and every day he'd send his minions over to knock on the White House door. And the minions would go, Elvis Presley's here to see President Nixon. And the guys at the gate would go, whoa. So nobody knew what to do. And after about 2 weeks of this, Nixon finally said, all right, bring him on over. So Nixon goes over and they meet. And there's this picture of Elvis. He's got his rhinestone jumpsuit on with a big collar and open with a belly button and everything. And he's standing there holding the drug enforcement officer's badge.
Yeah, I seen that.
Shaking hands with Richard Nixon. You can tell the guy's high as it is. He got down to here, tried the shots, he got away scot-free clean. All these columns list all the states, plus the territories, fought against the Japanese. Come down and visit. You want to look at these are bronze plaques. See these dark rectangles? They're various scenes from the war. There's Abraham Lincoln sitting in the middle of the memorial right there. How's that for a view? This wasn't a dangerous road. I'd stop for you. It's dangerous. You don't want to get killed here. Martin Luther King was a quarter mile away on
You guys been doing out here so far?
Well, I guess the question is how you define the word success. I will say yes and no.
Okay.
I'll say I have seen one. Bank of America decided to discontinue its $5 debit card fee after there were extensive protests all throughout the Occupy movement.
Okay.
And individual Bank of America branches were closed down for multiple days. Some just decided to shut down. It's there have been, for instance, in Baltimore and the like, foreclosures that people were facing that, due to the help of occupiers and sort of squatting and fighting off that, the foreclosures weren't carried through with.
Okay.
So I will say, on a small scale level, we have been helping a great deal of people. We also make sure to at least give makeshift shelter and a hot meal every night to the homeless communities of each respective city we're in.
Okay.
As far as a success on the national level yet, I'll say we are starting to change discourse, but we still have a lot of work to do before we actually see any legislation as a result of the movement.
Cool. And your name is?
My name would be Mike.
How old are you, Mike, if you don't mind me asking?
By all means, I'm 21.
I was going to say, you look very young, man, and I respect you being a young man and being a part of a movement like this, man, and I wish you success in everything that you're doing, brother.
Oh, and right back at you guys.
All
I wish
right.
you the best of luck.
Take it easy, man. Thanks
Likewise,
a lot.
Thank you.